Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Riled Up Podcast. Y'all know Ben Gleib? He's a comedian,
Okay, calm down.
talk show host.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Ben
Gleib.
Yeah, running for president 2020.
Apparently.
If you read the descriptive title of the video. You know that.
So, well, we know Ben Gleib from Idiot Test on Game Show Network. You said you know him mostly as just a
Coming
comedian.
to Wilmington.
That's kind of cool.
So, for some reason, he's running for president.
Yeah, but yeah.
So,
Yep. Take our democracy back.
So we're starting with his campaign side, or we're going to actually go through the...
we'll look at that later.
And we can go to
Okay.
Wikipedia if you want. Look at his age and everything.
Okay. So, how old is he?
What's the name? Hold on, go. Benjamin Nathan
Lieberman.
Okay,
That's tragic.
he played Morty's. Okay, cool. Anyway, reading this. Okay, he's born June 18th. 17th? Nope. 1978. Known
he's the
professionally
same age
as
as my
Ben
mom.
Gleib.
He's in the
Okay.
Dude is 41 years old.
Mm-hmm. And he was born in LA. So that's neat. Okay.
Cool.
Let's read his campaign website. Let's see what he's about.
Gleib 2020. Take our democracy back. Wait, take our democracy back. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Radically accurate.
All these candidates promises me nothing if we lose again in 2020.
Wait. Has he run before?
No. I don't
Democrat, I think.
I think he's just saying people.
Okay.
Let's finish the sentence. Let me finish the sentence first. Hang. Cautious career politicians won't get it done. To beat the biggest heckler in political history, we need a comedian.
Ben
Oh, I
Gleib.
get that. That's funny.
Want to watch his announcement?
Oh, yeah. And the thingy thing. What's your thingy thing?
Yes, we actually have audio now.
4 minutes and 55 seconds.
We need someone who can shred Trump like a stand-up takes down a heckler, because Trump is a heckler. And to fight him, we need a comedian.
Donald Trump is the greatest risk to our nation, but also the best trash talker in political history. I am not a politician or a greedy millionaire or billionaire, but I've dealt with narcissistic, crybaby hecklers like Trump hundreds of times before, and I've never been defeated.
Don't talk about the Donald!
Oh, no?
No!
Oh, I thought this was America. That's so weird. Oh, my God. Don't talk about that. That's exactly what they would say in Russia. Don't talk about Vladimir Putin that way. Cautious career politicians will not be able to stop the anomaly that is Donald Trump. But I can. Together, we can. We must. My name is Ben Gleib, and I'm running for president of the United States of America. These candidates running for president work in government. That's where the lies come from. And in a time of fake news, and with a pathological liar president, comedians are the only people left whose job it is to tell you the truth. You're probably thinking, why would the guy from Chelsea lately, who hosts a game show about idiots and day drinks on the Today Show with Kathy Lee and Hoda, be a good leader for our nation? Let me tell you a little bit about my background. You may not know, I'm also an honors thesis graduate of one of the top universities in the country. For over a decade, I've been a political contributor and commentator on places like CNN, NPR, Huffington Post, The Young Turks, ABC News, and more. I've hosted countless conversations and many debates with both sides, always working to try to find solutions to our problems. And I recently created the Telethon for America, a first-of-its-kind event powered by Michelle Obama's When We All Vote, that played a significant role in last year's record-setting historic voter turnout. Plus, people always say they want a president they can see themselves having a beer with. I've already had beers with tons of you. Thank you very much for the beers, by the way. I am so passionate about politics that many people started suggesting that I run for president and challenge Trump head on. And I realized that I'm different from every candidate because I've never been in government, and I'm not part of the rich elite. Turns out cable TV and comedy clubs and strip malls do not pay as well as you think. Unlike career politicians, who sit in Washington or at fundraiser events their whole careers. I've been traveling around the country for the last 19 years. I've been hanging with regular people because I am one. I know your struggles. I've been there by your side. Regular people like us are kept out of the halls of power so that whether the president is Republican or Democrat, the gap between the rich and the rest of us keeps widening. Millions of us still don't have health care, can't afford housing, work multiple jobs, and whole professions are going away due to automation. And no one in power is solving it. They're not even trying. They aren't invested enough in our struggle to make any real systemic change. But we can change that. We must change that. I can bring that change because I have nothing to lose. I don't have a career in politics I need to protect, or a bunch of billionaire friends that need me to pass laws that benefit only them. No special interests or no backdoor partnerships in Washington have any control over me, and they never will. Because when I'm done, I'll just go right back to the comedy clubs. Our democracy has been hacked. It has been taken from us by people who only care about power and money and keeping all of it for themselves. Let's take our democracy back. The threshold to qualify for the Democratic debates is just 65,000 donations. Even just $1 from you and 64,999 of your closest friends will put a regular person on that debate stage. Will the powers that be allow a different voice in the conversation? Let's find out together. Visit Gleib2020.com and donate. Together, we can take the crybaby down. Together, we can change the system. We will not be defeated. We will win because we must. Let's save America, okay? I'm Ben Gleib, and I'm running for president of the United States of America, and I could use your support.
Alright, so is anyone else kind of convinced and is like, okay?
Yeah,
I'm gonna vote for
I'm not going. That was like the best video. I was like the other video that I wish that we didn't edit in, and y'all just gonna have to deal with. This was good. That was
Good job.
Nice.
I mean, that
I haven't read any of your policies or anything, but if just based off that,
I'm like,
it's pretty convincing.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad at all.
I was moved. I was touched. I had to. I don't know if it's pathos, logos, or egos, but one of those.
alright, let's make this bigger.
Because I dang sure can't read that, and I leaned back and everything.
I'm gonna move the microphone a little bit. Sorry if this does anything with the audio. Okay, because now I can see.
You gonna move it right in front of her?
Can you not see now?
No, it's fine. I'll make do because
Let's move it so that everyone can see.
It's fine. It's fine.
He looks very, very different with every hairstyle that he has.
That's what's weird in this.
I know, in here, and then like he was showing videos of himself, I'm like, this is not the same person. Okay, anyways, these are some issues on his little website here. Read that first one, Scott.
Anti-Corruption Act banning lobbyist money. Every crisis we see is not truly addressed because money from big business funds political campaigns, corrupting all of our government. With one law, we will ban all lobbyist money from campaigns. Then our lawmakers will be free to finally work just for you.
Take our democracy back. Outlawing gerrymandering, implementing ranked choice voting, big money out of politics by reversing Citizens United, ending the Electoral College, closing the revolving door, making Congress vote on only one issue at a time, and stopping foreign interference, sorry, that was in all caps, by fortifying our voting systems and ensuring social networks know who is posting political content, something our treasonous president refuses to do. We will also implement a connected democracy voting platform, aka liquid democracy, to give the American people a direct say in legislation and executive orders.
Okay. Try it here on our site in the nav bar. So does he have something we can vote on?
Connected democracy?
Yeah, so we'll do that in a minute.
Saving our planet. I'm right here. I shouldn't be so loud. Saving our one planet. Finally taking this dire issue seriously. Because, newsflash, we can't breathe on Mars. And the consensus of the scientists of the world say that we have just 12 years left to reverse the course or destroy Earth, I feel like we should listen. On day 1, we will re-enter the Paris Climate Accord. And on day 2, yes. That's a smudge on the screen, not a comma on the website. Begin pushing for a tougher and more enforceable agreement. And we will begin implementing the principles of the Green New Deal.
Oh, cool.
Are Republicans not brave enough to step up to this fight? I thought you guys were supposed to be tough.
All right. Working to close the income and wealth gap. Fighting for a living wage and affordable housing for all. We will also give middle income and working class people a cost of living tax refund every month. I am the only working person in the race and the only union member, so you know I will fight for you because I am one of you.
Okay. Healthcare for everyone because, obviously, every rich nation on earth can do it. It's time we protected our own. But government won't successfully handle all 300 Americans. They couldn't even get the healthcare website up. So we expand Medicare to the millions with no coverage while fixing Obamacare and reining in drug prices. I don't think it goes far enough, but fair enough.
Free college, but don't want to save us money. I'm not saying that. Everyone who wants a college degree in America should be able to get one. But pesky reality, is that reality?
Reality?
Oh, wow. Okay. But pesky reality dictates that we don't have the money to pay for everyone's tuition, room, board, etc. So if you want free college, we will create a fully accredited online university. This would cost us a tiny fraction of the price tag and achieve the same result. We need out-of-the-box thinking to solve our problem, not the same political talking points that will never actually happen.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Combine white-collar prisons and blue-collar prisons. Want to stop corporate crime? Want true prison reform? What's one thing that will accomplish, or that one thing will accomplish both? We should not have a class system in our jails.
Yes.
We will end discriminatory cash bail, and of course we will end private prisons. Choose a better business, bro.
Treating all humans humanely. We can keep our nation's streets and children safe and treat all people with dignity. They are not.
I hope you're not wearing earbuds.
They are not mutually exclusive. Why would they be? Are we monsters? Common sense gun reform, humanity in our immigration policies, sensitivity training for police, while also respecting our officers, protecting our border, and keeping people's right to bear arms. We can do all this. We are America.
You lost me just a little bit,
Just a
but it's
little.
okay. Keep going.
Stop and cry, baby Donnie. I'm so glad that I got this one. None of this can happen if we allow 4 more years of this madman destroying our democracy. As we saw in 2016, you can't beat him with career politicians. It's like bringing plastic papers to a wrestling match. As a comedian, Gleib has the best chance at stopping the heckler in chief.
See issues page for more details and many more issues.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go up here.
Let's vote.
Yeah, okay, so
let's meet the candidate.
Let's meet him first.
Okay.
Alright, meet the candidate. I'll read this.
Okay.
Career politicians are not the answer to our problems. They are the problem. They have had a chance to fix our broken systems, but they have failed time and time again. Trying the same thing over and over again while expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So isn't it insane to put our trust in the same politicians and expect something different? It's time to bring a new voice to the conversation. These cautious career politicians will not be able to stop Donald Trump, but I can. Together we can. We must. Trump is the greatest risk to our nation, but also the biggest heckler in political history. So how do we take him down? With a stand-up comedian. I have spent my career traveling. Okay.
This is just what he said in the video.
Was it what he just said in the
This is
video?
all he said in the video.
Oh.
This might be the transcript.
I mean, not quite the transcript, it's just the same thing he said in the video.
Yeah.
Let's take our democracy back.
Alright, so this is what he said in the video. And so,
We assume y'all watched that part.
Connected democracy. So this is our little voting thing.
Yeah.
Let's see this.
If it loads.
It's taking its time. Our internet is not the best.
Oh! Do you want a direct say in what executive orders the president signs?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it.
I had an argument. Why are we voting this way?
I don't know, just to see what happens, mate. Interesting.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
there's little thingy things.
Oh, proposed legislation for U.S. Congress. Rose liquid. U.S. Congress. NC3. I'm confused.
It's okay, we don't know this, so we're not gonna talk about it. Move on to the issues.
yeah. Anyways, we're a little bit stupid, but it's okay.
It happens.
Hey, we never said we were super smart.
So we read which one?
This might be longer. This might have like longer ones.
Okay, well this was the banning the lobbyists one. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it is actually a little different. So why don't you start us off, Scotty?
All right. Anti-Corruption Act banning lobbyist money. Our nation is facing many very large crises. We have a healthcare crisis, stagnant wages crisis, a crisis of gun violence, and a climate crisis threatening our very existence.
And a crisis.
So many crises that we have a crisis. Yet every crisis we face is not truly addressed because money from big business special interests fund our political campaigns, corrupting all of our government. With one law, we can end and will ban all lobbyist money for campaigns. Then our lawmakers will be free to finally work just for you. Don't worry, lobbyists can still lobby. They just can't also fund campaigns. It's ridiculous how we have sold our government to the highest bidder. Big corporations dictate our policies. They even write our bills. And it's insanely expensive to run for office and try and change it. But we will. Passing this one simple law will be one of our highest priorities.
Alright. Try and take democracy down.
God.
All on your own. Just take the democracy.
I hate myself.
Alright. Take democracy.
Take our democracy back from all the forces trying to reduce our influence in our own country. The Anti-Corruption Act will also include the following: outlawing gerrymandering so Republicans can no longer do an insane thing they actually... Okay, hold on. Here we go. So Republicans can no longer do an insane thing they actually do, which is carving districts in weird shapes so that minorities' votes count less. We will not only end this practice, but we will make it so that any efforts to restrict someone's access to vote in any way will be a serious crime. Do not mess with our democracy. Implementing ranked choice voting. So instead of choosing just one candidate, you can rank your top choices. If your first choice doesn't get a majority, they simply remove them from the count and then count your second choice. This way, you can freely support whoever you want without fear of your vote not really counting. This will also make sure that smaller candidates not only get a bigger voice, but if they don't win, they won't be a spoiler putting the person you really don't want in office. Big money out of politics by reversing Citizens United, because corporations are not people, my friend. That's just the obvious definition of words. Ending the Electoral College, because we are no longer have any issue getting information to everyone, and because one person should equal one vote, and the popular vote should obviously determine the winner. Millions of people's wishes should not be outweighed by just thousands of people. That's just basic math. Closing the revolving door, so lawmakers cannot go work for lobbyist firms after serving in Congress because that makes them corrupt AF. We will actually have true public servants for once. Stop foreign interference by fortifying our voting systems, ensuring social networks know who is posting political content, and aggressively punishing any attempt to hack into our voting systems or to infiltrate our democracy in any way. Something our treasonous president refuses to do. We will also end secret money, requiring all contributors, even to PACs, to be immediately disclosed. Ban elected officials from fundraising during work hours and ban lobbyists from writing bills themselves, which is just absurd that it currently happens. We have a bunch of lazy, weak leaders that have allowed this to be the way we do business. We must change it. I realize this was 9 issues in one, but they are related, and we are trying not to overwhelm you. Okay?
Yeah, Andrew Yang kind of did that around
Oh my
us.
god, Andrew freaking Yang.
Compassionate cat. You want me to talk?
Yeah. Compassionate capitalism, working to close the income and wealth gap. Fighting for a living wage and affordable housing for all. Because if you can't live on the money you make, then what is the damn point of working?
Fucking right.
True.
Being able to live is pretty key. So is being able to save, but you can't with no money left over.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
We will give middle income and working class people a cost of living tax refund every month. I am the
Don't cover
only
your mouth.
I'm the only working person in the race and the only union member, so you know I will fight for you because I am one of you. I am not a socialist. I believe in capitalism, but just under one very obvious rule: not achieving your financial success while hurting others.
You lost me a little bit.
That's why I call myself a compassionate capitalist. We must be able to achieve upward mobility in America, but we also must catch people when they fall. This makes them more willing to take risks, which helps the economy, but it's also the right thing to do.
So you're a social democrat. Cool. Healthcare for everyone, because obviously. Every rich nation on earth can do it. It's time we protected our own. Our government won't successfully handle all 300 Americans. They couldn't even get the healthcare website up, and it's un-American not offer choice. I had a healthcare scare recently, and the freedom of choice is what made me able to get the care I needed. In America, everyone should have good coverage, but you should also be able to purchase better care if your life depends on it and you aren't satisfied with your government plan. Why don't you make the government plan the best plan? Plus, Medicare often reimburses at much lower rates than the private market, so change it. Which would cause many rural doctors' offices and hospitals who are already struggling to close their doors, giving people in those areas coverage but difficulty accessing care. So we expand Medicare to the millions with no coverage while fixing Obamacare and reining in drug prices. This doesn't need to be either or. We'll also end employer-based insurance because too many people feel stuck in jobs for decades when they have other dreams, but they fear losing their health insurance, so they stay. That's not cool. Healthcare is a right, and so it should not be tied to whatever your current job happens to be because your current job might suck. I don't think your plan goes far enough, but your last thing was like spot on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like it would just be really interesting if he was more in the spotlight, because just like a lot of the things that he's saying, I feel like are talking points.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't feel like he's probably the best, but like being more in the public eye, I feel like would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
To get people like talking, like the whole like, regular people.
Yes.
Being,
True.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, saving our planet. Finally taking this dire issue seriously because, newsflash, you can't breathe on Mars. Yeah, we read some of this.
No, just read the whole thing.
Okay. When the consensus of the scientists of the world say that we have just 12 years left to reverse course or destroy Earth, I kind of feel like we should listen. On day 1, we'll re-enter the Paris Climate Accord, and on day 2, begin pushing for a tougher and more enforceable agreement. And we will begin implementing the principles of the Green New Deal. We will end our dependence on fossil fuels. We will ban single-use plastics. We will invest in clean energies, and we will create millions of jobs by doing so. We will save the planet. Are Republicans not brave enough to step up to this fight? I thought you guys were supposed to be tough. We must frame it this way by challenging them to step up for the fight of our lives, because Democrats far too often fail at messaging, and messaging wins minds. Also, fun fact, their name is conservative, so do some damn conserving.
Teddy Roosevelt did conserving,
I'm not talking about Teddy Roosevelt.
and he was a Republican.
Shut up.
That's why I said it.
If we ever decide to do a presidential candidate video about Teddy Roosevelt, we can delve more into that.
Anyways, okay, do you want to read about prisons?
Sure. The black person to read about prison. Combining white-collar prisons and blue-collar prisons. Want to stop corporate crime? That'll do it. White-collar crime hurts millions of people. That's far worse than someone who just sold weed in their neighborhood to try to provide food for their family. So why does the worst criminal get to go to a country club jail while the weed dealer ends up in prison with murderers? No more of that. We have plenty of class divide in our country. We shall not also have a class system in our jails. And this is how we will get true prison reform as well. When the rich and powerful experience the true state of our prisons, change will come. This will also lead to the end of cash bail, which is discriminatory, and make our prisons actual correctional facilities. Also, we will end private prisons because you shouldn't make money from incarcerating people. Choose a better business, bro.
I agree with all of that.
Exactly.
That's yes.
I love this where he said, when the rich and powerful have to spend time in the prisons, then that's when change will come because, you know.
Finally taking Finally taking care of our veterans. We gave them our word, and for us, they risked their lives. I will make sure we honor them by finally funding the VA properly, within the first year, and providing the care they deserve. It's unacceptable. This has not already been done. Who are we if we do not truly honor those who protect our freedom? That last part, but
yeah,
yeah.
I feel like
I have to agree with taking care of veterans, yeah, but at the same time, I also feel like if we just got Medicare for all and it was perfect and it was great and we did it right, then we wouldn't need a separate VA for them. Let's be honest here.
it's kind of true.
Interesting, yeah.
But I feel like the right is really great at pushing people into the military and not so great at dealing with them when they come back.
Because mental illness isn't real, but it's like, that PTSD from but you're the one who said that they go be a great soldier, fight for your freedom, and then they come back and they fucking want to kill themselves because, they went to war.
Yep.
Modernizing our schools because it's our children. Hello. We have exponentially evolved, yet our schools are still chalkboards and dusty textbooks. We will teach real-life skills, financial literacy, and schools will have things called the internet and computers. We will teach coding and prepare people for the jobs of the future. And we will teach context to our students so they understand why they're being taught this, why it's important, so that school stops being seen as largely punitive, and so our children feel as though they are opting in. No one learns well when they feel they're being forced to. That's why rarely has someone gotten a GED while being kidnapped.
Me? Free college but online to save us money. Everyone who wants a college degree in America should be able to get one. But pesky reality dictates that we don't have the money to pay for everyone's tuition, room, board, etc. So if you want free college, we will create a fully accredited online university.
What?
I would just like to say, the whole, we don't have the money to pay for everyone's tuition, room, and board.
We do.
We do. It's literally just the universities keep trying to increase their profit. They're literally increasing our fees next year.
Why?
For no reason. We're not getting anything extra.
No, yeah. They keep making the health insurance more expensive.
Yeah, I know. They're increasing the cost of everything, but, they've really only taken away things.
Yep.
The events that we're supposedly paying for only get worse.
Yeah.
Your health insurance goes up.
I'm getting the same stuff.
It's
fine stuff, but still.
Everything is the same, but the price keeps going up.
But anyways, they keep expanding, and the city needs more money for parking garages. All these new buildings they're building everywhere.
Where was I? Online university. This would cost us a tiny fraction of the price tag and achieve the same result. We need out-of-the-box thinking to solve our problems, not the same political talking points that will never actually happen. I
also think that it's not exactly the same. Online school is not the same.
It's not.
Yeah. Anyways, it works for some people, but it doesn't work for other people.
Yeah, I tried online. I'm actually I'm actually kind of worse at it than I am in real life.
Exactly.
We will also have satellite location meetups for occasional in-person classes and discussion groups.
Huh.
There can still even be an in-person Greek system.
Intramural.
Intramural sports and campus organizations within any city since students opt in and pay for that themselves anyway. Much of the full college experience, but the vast majority of it will be online and it will be free of charge and costing the rest of us very little. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It is definitely interesting.
Takaya?
Student loan bailout. Oh god. The big banks got bailed out. And they wronged us. Knowingly. Yet college graduates, our future, simply wanted an education. This advances our society. We will thank them by forgiving half of their debt. Because we do not have the money to forgive it all. The rest will be paid back, however, at a very low, near zero rate, based upon their ability to pay as their careers advance, while not impeding their ability to build their lives and making sure they don't spend forever just paying the interest. It's the least the banks could do as a thank you for us saving them.
We do have the money.
Okay, so hold on. Yes, but this right here with the
Just the paying the interest?
the paying the interest. I literally was just reading something about someone who said that their loans totaled like $38,000 when they graduated, and they paid $27,000, and they still owe like $28,000.
Like why is there interest? Can I just not pay? Can I just pay back what I took?
Yeah. Exactly.
Why do I have to pay more?
I know.
Like what makes you so special that you get more money than you gave me? Why can't I just pay back what I actually owed, just tuition and stuff?
All right, guns are cool. Kids are cooler.
I agree.
I will
Yes.
always support the Second Amendment, but that doesn't mean our children should fear being shot at school.
Damn. Well, put it just yeah.
Just straight up,
Yeah.
yes. School
Yeah.
is annoying enough.
Yes.
We will register all gun sales, even private sales. It shouldn't be easier to get a gun than a driver's license.
You know how hard it was to get my freaking ID and all that crap. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Go ahead.
Again, because obviously, we will require training. Because if you haven't heard, guns can kill people. We will have thorough background checks, fully analyzing both criminal history and mental health. You shouldn't be able to get a gun faster than you can get toilet paper on Amazon.
Yes.
No more loopholes. Loopholes are easy to shoot through.
Ooh.
We must also limit the capacity of magazines. If you have an AR-15 or AK-47, you can keep it, but we will ban new sales, because if you need a weapon like that to hunt, you're a terrible hunter,
Yes.
and you should work on your skills. And we will pass red flag laws that enable people to temporarily get the guns removed from people close to them who are exhibiting signs of violence, dangerous behavior, or who are making threats. This is an effective way to save lives. That's interesting.
But let me just say, you need to get a spell checker in here.
Yes.
Yeah. But
That's something
I
haven't
can get
heard.
behind most of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an interesting thing.
Yes,
With
that-
or like, because there, it's like, they always mention, like, mental health, but it's like, just if you have depression doesn't mean you shouldn't, like, never be able to, like, do something.
But if
like,
your husband is coming
if-
home and he's drunk and he's like, I'm gonna beat you or shoot you.
Or, like, if you're not doing so hot and
yes.
you're, like, suicidal, then
you're like, hey, just don't let them do this. Take that away.
alright.
Connected democracy voting giving more power to you. We are tired of the American people not having a say in what our politicians decide to do. They are supposed to serve us, so we want to help move us more toward a direct democracy rather than just the representative democracy we have always had. We will implement a connected democracy voting platform.
Probably known.
It should be known, but known globally as liquid democracy, to give the American people a direct say in legislation and executive orders. We will push everyone running for Congress to pledge to hold a secure and transparent vote on our platform so they know exactly how their constituents want them to vote.
I just want to say, you're a real dick about spelling for someone who spells it as Alec.
I spell a lot without a space, yes,
Yeah.
but I haven't heard of anyone not doing that until you also.
My words.
Just
not want to judge, homie G, but go ahead.
And transparent vote on our platform so they know exactly how their constituents want to vote, and we will push them to pledge to follow the consensus from the vote. Consensus. And as president, I will put my executive orders where my mouth is. I pledge for most executive orders, and as long as they are not related to emergency spending, national security, or vital economic interests, to take a vote on the Liquid.us connected democracy platform, and to follow the will of the people, only signing if the majority vote for it.
It's okay. Take your time. If you just need to breathe a little bit, take a sip of water, and then come back, then you can do that. You know. Just See, yeah, I know.
Take a second. It's
Take your
okay.
time. It's okay. You got time. It's all right.
This will take the expanding power of the last couple of presidents and instead use it to expand the power of the people. And it will also be a great way to circumvent a do-nothing Congress. Ooh. Without needing to pass any new legislation, further helping us take our democracy back. And how's this for action? It's already live right here on this website. We have already been working closely with our friends and at Liquid.us to enable you to try it out right now. Just click, we already did that, and you can vote on whatever you think is a good idea or not. Your vote can be public or posted anonymously, but either way, we check your info against the voter rules, and if you are a registered voter, that will also be indicated in our constantly updated results. Want more info? Sure.
You don't get any.
Connected democracy is a dynamic voting system that makes democracy smarter, faster, more immediate, and better for both the public and elected officials. Connected democracy increases the accountability of our elected officials by demonstrating how their constituents want them to vote on issues. The Liquid.us platform leverages modern technology to provide voters with the ability to express their views on legislation instantaneously through the smartphone or tablet.
There's a lot.
This is a long one.
By reducing the communication gap between voters and representatives, citizens have the ability to seamlessly express how they want their representatives to vote. All personal information is verified, secured, and tied to individuals' voting records. In fact, it is much more secure and transparent than a typical federal digital vote, as it will be verified through email, centrally tabulated, independently audited by groups. With this, where am I? Independently audited by groups with distinct interests, and will also be open up for tabulation and data analysis to the blockchain, where anyone on any of the major distributed ledger systems can independently verify the count.
You need some water? You need to take a break? You need a breath?
Finally, connected democracy helps further blunt the outsized influence of special interests by holding elected officials accountable for voting in alignment with their constituents. Any citizen can quickly measure their representative's job performance. Elected officials can also facilitate discussions with voters, comments, and receive immediate ongoing insights into how their constituents feel on the issues. Liquid US is currently being used across the country by community organizers and elected legislators to measure public opinion and change laws. So this puppy is tested, already successful, and gives the power directly back into your hands. Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It doesn't.
Okay, what's next?
It's not true direct democracy because
Congress
so it
votes
doesn't. So it wouldn't like allow a whole bunch of racists in South Carolina to not allow black people to vote, like a true direct democracy would. So.
Why are you so loud? You're in my ear.
Sorry, I can't always tell when I'm loud, but
I can.
So thank you for telling me. But so this is a good idea because it's not true direct democracy, but it still allows people to show what they
I want you to click on cage-free children. Fuck everything else for
No, we'll get there.
No, I want
We'll get there.
cage-free children.
We'll get there.
I want my free-range children.
They literally do be putting that on eggs. Cage free.
Okay, okay. Congress votes on only one issue at a time. I do not think Congress should not try to multitask. Congress is notorious for getting nothing done and doing so as slowly as possible. So the fact that they draft and vote on bills with multiple issues within the same bill is insane. Because, and you would think this would be common sense, you can't vote on two different ideas at the same time. All it does is gives our leaders perfect excuse for not being held accountable for their vote. Oh, I wanted to vote to support our veterans, but there was a bridge in there I couldn't vote for. No more. We'll pass a law mandating that they only vote on one issue at a time, clean bills with no poison pills. So we clearly know if they are voting how they promised or not. Having no excuses may make many politicians' head explode, but it's a small price to pay for a government that actually works for us. They can always get more heads. And we will finally be able to start ticking some accomplishments off the list, or kicking those who don't write out the office.
Tickling some accomplishments.
Shut up, Scott.
Alright, constitutional amendment for a woman's right to choose. A constitutional amendment for a woman's right to choose, along with other necessary laws to enshrine women's rights, such as reversing the Hyde Amendment. Women's rights are being erased, and we must stop this by codifying it into our Constitution. It is important that men stand for this as strongly as women, because it ain't a moral code if you only stand for it when it directly affects you.
Hot damn.
We have around
Agreed.
5,000 signatures already on our Change.org petition for this constitutional amendment. Would you sign it?
Yeah, let's sign that later.
Alright, real equality for everyone! Who's reading this?
Me? Fuck you. And I'm in the cage for children, too.
Fair enough.
Free range.
You want to.
You can read about the robots. You go off on a gang tangent. Okay. Our LGBT community will be fully protected and granted all rights granted to straight people. Every single one. I mean, what year is this? Recently, an LGBTQ civil rights bill passed in the House, but only 8 Republicans voted for it. 8. We will shame these heartless people who think they are better than everyone else, when clearly their beliefs make them worse.
Ooh.
Alright. Free range children.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay then.
Cage-free children. I'm sorry I had to hear all that laughing. I like cage-free eggs, but a higher priority should be cage-free children. We will use humanity in our immigration processes. Yes. Stand firmly against the wall. Hard to do since there will be no physical wall to stand against. Ooh. People who came here undocumented, if they have been positive parts of their community, will be given a reasonable pathway to citizenship, and children will not be treated as criminals ever or put into cages. They are children. If we don't know how to treat them, then we are lost as a society. We will give them toys and fun activities while we sort through their status, and we will certainly not rip them away from their families.
Alright, you.
Make the dream a reality. Give dreamers citizenship. They are just as deserving as those who waited in line, because any family waiting in line can choose to try and cross illegally as well if times are as desperate for them. We must better protect our borders, but as long as they are still porous. I had no idea what that word is. Which is our fault, not theirs. And because we all would do so too if it was to save our family. Ooh. We will treat them with dignity and kindness and respect. And because, more importantly and incredibly obviously, people brought here as children didn't even choose to come here. Kids don't call the shots in their families. They go where they are told, and they have essentially been Americans their whole lives. So dreamers will be granted instant citizenship. No getting in the back of the line. They have waited long enough, and they are an important part of our country.
Alright, don't let the robots take over, Scotty.
Okay, Andrew Yang. Fighting to protect American jobs from the onslaught of automation. Some jobs...
Have to pull a chair up.
Some jobs will be automated, of course, but we cannot allow entire workforces to be eliminated. Call me crazy, but I value humans. So we will give incentives for companies to keep a majority of their work output created by humans. We will have a vigorous debate as to whether we want driverless cars on our roads, the trucking industry to become all autonomous, etc. And when automation replaces certain jobs, We must be human-focused and help our workers participate in the proceeds, and when not viable, at the very least make sure they land on their feet. Also, have you not seen every science fiction story ever? Letting robots take over does not end well. We are the richest nation on earth and became so while not resorting to paying sweatshop labor rates. So we
do.
True. So we have proven that we can value our workforce and at the same time turn a healthy profit. In my administration, America can and will be the beacon for human jobs on the planet. It's only under a bad system that something that makes the workplace more efficient is considered bad. But under capitalism, sadly, robots are gonna make humans less valued, and unless we're able to do certain things, make them not land on
You're
their feet.
thinking what I'm thinking.
Damn. Oh my.
You're never gonna not think about it.
I know. Do
What
you know
are you
what it's
thinking?
called? Huh? Do you know what it's called and how to find it?
I found it yesterday. I looked through my
You
searches.
look through and tell me what it's called and I'll pop it in here.
do you?
I have no idea what they're referring to.
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
you do. I showed you the video yesterday.
Okay, so we do. So I do know what they're referring to, but I forgot.
Okay, hold on. Just give us 1 second.
Well, I've searched too much since then.
Okay. Keep going, Scotty.
We can read more until then. Net neutrality will be preserved and protections restored.
Did you find it?
Okay.
Read this one.
The internet is our only hope to keep information accessible, journalism vibrant and real, true information alive and well. The internet is the hive mind of our planet that we evolved out of thin air, and we need it to remain a worldwide, evolving, unfettered engine of thought gathering, productivity, creativity, movement, and ideas. This will not become yet another class system for those who can and cannot afford full unfettered access. The system keeps being tilted toward the richest few. We will tilt it right back.
Okay.
Nice.
So hold on. Alright. Here we go. This is what I think of every time Scott's trying to read.
Have you ever had a dreams that you could you do you want you could do so you do you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Every time Scott's talking, that is what I think of. Oh no. Which, like, I relate to that because I do that too sometimes. Like, every time. The little kid just pops into my head. The video was like 8 years old. Like, it's such an old video.
Put that a little higher. I think it's a little under.
Okay, social media giants regulated. They have already sold our information repeatedly without our consent, violated our trust countless times, and allowed
Poison our water supply. But we'll get to that in the next slide.
and allowed foreign adversaries to influence our elections because they only care about growth and money, so they must be regulated. Zuckerberg even said
Oh,
to
no.
Congress that he's open to it. So good, we all agree. He might be a robot, but at least we agree on something. Also, social networks have begun charging us to reach our own friends, followers, and information, and choosing unexplained, ever-changing algorithms over real-time feeds and results, thus deciding for us who and what we hear from. Not cool. These giants have become ubiquitous in our lives, and so there has to be a check on their power. What about Flint?
No, not you. We're gonna give you a little break. Making Flint and Puerto Rico whole again. Year 1. The most urgent emergency spending we have by reallocating our annual emergency fund from military costs to our most pressing problems here at home. We use a $200 billion a year fund, most of which now goes to the military, to domestic emergencies, and we keep a separate military emergency fund that sits at $2 billion as well. Current level.
200.
200. What? 200.
That's a very big difference.
200.
They can read. Oh, they can't. I don't know. I'm sorry.
They might be
Anyway.
listening.
Anyways, current levels, but it is not spent every year as it is now. It is only replenished when it is needed, and it will be far less as we end unnecessary foreign entanglements and regime change wars. We must first solve our problems at home. And we get far more bang for our buck by allocating this funds to the best in private philanthropies, with the highest ratings for donations used for the actual relief per donated dollar, and to the top impact investment companies with the most sustainable plans for making their funding allocations last many years and actually swiftly solve the problem. I spent a week in Puerto Rico during the campaign to see some of the problems up close and to remind us that Puerto Rico is part of us. It's a beautiful place. You should take a vacation there. We will never allow our citizens to be left to die after a natural disaster. We will never again leave a U.S. city without safe drinking water. We are the United States of America. Let's start acting like it. He didn't actually really talk about either of these places, but, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Providing funding for sober homes to address opioid crisis.
Okay.
We are all aware of this devastating epidemic taking place in our country. In most cases, to no fault of their own, people are becoming addicted to something being prescribed by a doctor, even overprescribed, or in misleading
Ways.
It is ruining millions of lives and taking lives at a frightening rate. We of course must hold the pharmaceutical companies and dirty providers to account to the fullest extent of the law. But we also must have a human-centered approach and provide a way for victims of this crisis to get their lives back on track. Rehab only lasts 28 days, but an addict's success or failure in overcoming this addiction takes place after. Sober homes are wonderful supportive resources that give these good people the chance to find a supportive, healthy environment so they don't repeat the cycle and further risk their lives. I've seen this firsthand during our campaign. Currently, the federal government provides no funding for sober homes. This will change. We will actually tackle our problems and save people's lives.
That's really cool. I like that. Because, yeah, it's just like when people get out of prison and there's no, like, transitional thing.
And I feel
so you just fall back. Like, this is really
I feel like there's a lot of, like, talk people, like, mention the opioid crisis, but
no
nobody
solutions.
actually has solutions.
Yeah, so it's like hold people accountable and then have a way to help people after rehab.
Alright, Scott, read about weed.
What old pothead Scotty. You've never smoked a weed in your day.
No, I have not. 85% of Americans are in favor of legalizing it federally. It will create countless jobs.
Yeah, weed cupcake makers.
As we've seen already, that state cannabis legalization has created nearly 300,000 jobs, and it will also save lives from opioids, as marijuana is often more effective at treating chronic pain, PTSD, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, nausea, and pain from cancer treatments, and countless other ailments. Where was I? And when it is legalized, opioid use drops significantly. It is also far less addictive, and you cannot overdose on it. I mean, a bad experience maybe, but people don't die. I'm very pro things that help people, and also anti things that make people die. Plus, marijuana makes life a lot more chill and easygoing. Something I think we can all agree we could use a healthy dose of these days. I support S597, the Marijuana Justice Act of 2019, to amend all. I start laughing. To amend all the places in our written law that criminalizes cannabis. This bill also.
What is wrong?
Are you okay? Do I need to finish this?
Yes, you finished it.
I'm fine.
No. This bill also expunges the sentences of people currently in jail for cannabis-related offenses. We will put a 2% federal tax on cannabis, and we will use the revenue to pay for prison reform initiatives addressing the opioid crisis, drug abuse education, and grants for police sensitivity training. Interesting. I like how that's all kind of...
Treating all humanely.
Treating. You said treating.
We're not treating you.
We're making people into trees.
How about throwing trees at people?
We keep our nation's streets and children safe and treat all people with dignity. They are not mutually exclusive.
Okay. Why would they be? Are we monsters? Common sense, gun reform, humanity, and our immigration policies, sensitivity training for police, while also respecting our officers, protecting our border, and keeping people's right to bear arms. We can do all of this. We are America. And if you were brought here as a child and haven't, broken laws, you will become a citizen because you are an American. We will protect our borders, and those that come here seeking a better life will not be demonized. We can do both!
Stopping crybaby
No, you're
Trump.
not reading.
It's very short.
Yeah,
Go
but
to
you're still not reading it. You're struggling too much now. I don't know what you had to drink.
Water. It's not the drink. It's water.
And this was great. Anyway.
None of this can happen if we allow 4 more years of this madman destroying our democracy. As we saw in 2016, you can't beat him with career politicians. It's like bringing policy papers to a wrestling match. Comedians are coming to power around the globe because people are realizing that politicians lie and comedians keep it real. We've turned to comedians for our news for decades now. It's how we do so for our leaders. As a comedian, Gleib has the best chance at stopping the heckler in chief. Cautious politicians won't get the job done, and the orange monster, aka toupee fiasco, Putin's side chick, the tiny brain traitor, will win again. Is that what you want?
Putin's side chick.
That's funny. I like toupee fiasco.
That is funny.
Because I like Lupe Fiasco. Like, you got a song that I like or something like that. You got toupee fiasco. That's funny. But Putin's side chick is also very funny.
That's hilarious.
All right, so
Can we insert like one of those pictures? It's like Trump and Putin, and it's like
All right, so let's see if he has any other videos. Oh, he does.
Oh yeah.
Him got a lot of videos. England, why Trump can't handle heckling.
How long are these? Okay,
Click it. You'll find out.
That one's pretty long.
All right, joining me now,
What?
presidential
It's a minute,
candidate
6 seconds.
Ben Gleib. How you doing, Ben?
Oh.
Good to
All
see you,
right,
James.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So Ben, you're a comedian,
Yes, sir.
so that's a fact. And in fact, TBS has called you one of the funniest comedians working today.
Mm-hmm.
And you've won like 1,000 awards. I'm not and participated in a million things. I'm not going to get into it. Okay, but you've been all over
There wouldn't be
television.
time.
Yes, totally agree. So obviously, the first question you're going to get when you're running for president is, "Are you serious?"
Mm-hmm. I'm 100% serious. It's a fair question, obviously, because my life has been about making people laugh. But when our president became the biggest joke in the country, I realized that we all have to step up and do our part. And I had to shift even my comedy to the much more serious, higher purpose of comedy is holding truth to power and making sure that we stand up for what America is. And so I'd been doing that already. And when I got a death threat at a show in Illinois from a Trump supporter, instead of cowering down, it's what made me start thinking that I need to run the response to that video and to what I said about it online. And people saying, thank you for standing up for our democracy, just started making me think that we need to make sure we beat Trump as our highest priority. And I'm not at all confident that any of the candidates in the race now can do that. I don't know that they have the skills to take on the biggest trash talker in political history, and I can. I've been dealing with jerk hecklers for 19 years, and I wanted to put my career aside for a minute and see what I could do to help our democracy.
So sometimes people call him King Troll, but he's also, in a sense, King Heckler. I mean, that's basically what he's been doing for the entire time that he's been famous. Heckling Rosie O'Donnell and picking all these weird fights with celebrities just to get attention. And then he did it on the political level, and next thing you know, he's president.
I cannot believe that whole send her back thing happened here.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That pissed me off so much.
Oh, did it happen?
Yes, it happened
that
in
was at the freaking Greenville rally, down the street.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
That was here.
I didn't think
That's why the Distillery had the
did that
donation
thing where they donated all their profits
because
that day.
of that.
Oh,
Trump was here that
okay,
day.
that makes sense.
Yeah, and that makes me just.
And then they had to go, and they had to have something big too. That was news.
Yes, that was legitimate.
You had to go make news. And
don't nobody know where he is, and that's what we're getting on the map
the other
for.
day, and he did town hall, and when they asked him about the tweets, he said, "No, I'm not going to respond to those. You have to be above the fray." Being above the fray didn't really seem to work for the Republicans running against him or the Democrat running against him. So, how would you counterattack?
So I completely disagree with what Mayor Pete said, and he's a really nice young kid. But somehow I'm not the youngest in this race either, which makes me feel very validated. I love Michelle Obama. I disagree with when they go low, we go high. I say when they go low, it's a great chance to step on them and make sure their
There you go.
ideas
That's
do
my
not get
kind of
hurt.
guy.
Yeah, we must not be. We don't have time for politeness right now. Our values are being
That's a
eroded.
big fucking
Truth
mood.
is leaving the world as a
Looking
concept,
at you, Ellen.
and chaos comes from that, and authoritarianism comes from that.
Oh,
And
Ellen.
so I would counter it by using his own tactics, but much harder. He's the heckler. I'm the comedian. Comedians always win. I've never been defeated by hecklers, so I would call him nicknames. He's Crybaby Donnie. He's Traitorous Trump. He is a man that is all about his ego, so you need to hit his ego, and you need to make sure that he feels small and is done as publicly as possible. And I assure you, if we ended up in a debate one-on-one, he would look very stupid.
Well, first of all, I've never believed a candidate more than I believe you on that statement.
Thank you very much.
And secondly, it is quite amazing that no Democrat has embarrassed him yet.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy waiting to be embarrassed. His whole
100%.
existence is embarrassing.
And they validate his existence by not calling him out for the complete joke and clown and horrible poison that he is. They validate him, and that becomes the new normal. And that's also why I'm running, because no candidate is making clear the urgency. They're running like a traditional campaign. They're running like it's any election, and it is not. We're facing the rise of an authoritarian dictator in our midst who also is more nefarious because he does it in these like funny, trolly Twitter ways. It has to be stopped and taken so seriously. So it's great if we can debate all the traditional progressive ideas, and we will, and I do as well. But if we end up losing again, what's the point of it?
On the go, don't worry, we got you covered.
We still need to focus on the issues, though. We're not going to win if we don't.
Well, I didn't say not to.
True.
Do we want to watch any other videos?
I'm sorry, why am I making these terrible noise?
Ding.
Yeah, let's talk about his life being threatened.
Don't talk about the Donald.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, I thought this was America. So weird.
That was Donald. What?
At my show just now in Rosemont, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, I was doing regular jokes, and then the joke about Donald Trump, pretty mild joke. And this woman in the crowd decides to heckle me and tell me that I can't do jokes about the president. That's what America's about, and I felt the need to shut her down and let her know exactly that.
Ladies, what is with the duck lips? Who has ever seen a woman and been like, yeah, she's hot, but if only she could look more like a duck. I've always wanted to make love to a duck, personally. It's like we love being people, but if we could also be ducks. I think that's why we elected a president who's orange. With a tuft of duck hair on top of his head. His name is Donald. We want to be ducks. My favorite policy of his is when he goes, believe me.
Yes.
Don't talk about the Donald.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, I thought this was America. So weird. Oh my God. Don't talk about that. That's exactly what they would say in Russian. Don't talk about Vladimir Putin that way. Don't talk about the Donald. He's got you programmed, man. Holy shit. Wow.
Like a robot.
Putin's like a scary guy. Trump's a fucking idiot. You listen to what he says?
I only planned on doing that one joke about Trump, but since she decided to try to squelch my free speech, I decided maybe I should continue.
We used to have freedom of speech in America. That was part of the country, if you remember that. Pre-Trump, that was freedom of speech. I love the whole anthem debate he's very upset about always. Apparently now in America, you have to stand. You must stand. While somebody sings, Land of the Free. You better fucking stand during the free part of that song. Stand up. And he says how free we are. We don't use our damn brains anymore, I swear to God.
If you're supporting Donald Trump still, it's an inexplicable thing to me, but if you're going to do it, you better at least sit down when you're at a comedy show and listen to thoughts other than your own, because if you are unaware, comedy's not just about being light and funny and making people laugh, it's also about speaking truth to power.
You gotta hand it Trump, though. The guy is a brilliant communicator. He really is. He really knows how to boil a message down to a simple component, and he just repeats it over and over again. It's like he's hypnotizing us when he talks, and it works. It works. So you can clearly see. It works. He just repeats. It's always like, I want to build a wall. Wall, wall, wall. You're getting very sleepy. You want a wall. You need a wall. Hard wall. Thick cock. You leave that rally, you're like, I don't even know what he's talking about. But I know we need a wall and our president's got a great dick. That's what I believe to be true. And look, he wants to build a wall. Build a wall. He's the president. I'm not going to tell him what to do. You can't stop me. He's the president. Let him build that wall. If it costs billions, just do it, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not going to mention stuff like a lot of illegals come through tunnels, which hot tip underwalls. That's a big part of how tunnels work. Not to mention the
Why have we
huge
not
uptick
watched
you're going to
it?
see in
Oh,
illegal
I don't know. I didn't-
catapulting into America. Like Angry Birds. Every time you're walking along, you hear, "Ay, Dios mío!" You build it up in the hospital, a lot of unexpected healthcare costs. Those costs rise. But you do you, boo. Build that wall.
And then after the show, not only did she come up and argue with me saying that you shouldn't make jokes and she's so tired of it, and I said to her, but the whole point of comedy and the history of comedy has been to speak out against social injustice and speak out about politics. And she goes, I know, but I'm just tired of it. Well, if you know, then stop your nonsensical comment and let me do what I do. And then minutes later, a man came up to me in the same audience as I was greeting the crowd after the show, and he says to me, you shouldn't talk about the president like that. I loved your act until then. And I said, well, why not? That's my right to do that. And he goes, I'm just telling you, around here, you talk like that, you're going to get a bullet in the back of the head.
Oh, shit.
He
Oh.
literally said that to me. And I said, excuse me? He goes, someone's going to, I know a lot of people around here that carry, you're going to get a bullet in the back of the head. And I said, well, if that's what's going to happen, then so be it. And he goes, I'm not kidding, man. I know people walking around here with bullets inside of their bodies right now. And I said, if that's what has to happen, that's what's going to happen. I am not going to stop speaking the truth that I feel needs to be spoken to protect the values that this nation was built on. So, have a good day. And he walked off. And I was shaken by it, absolutely. And I felt threatened by it, absolutely. But it's not going to stop me because people have fought and died for this country. So if I have to tell jokes that are hard to tell and deal with consequences that are scary, then so be that, because I'm not going to back down from people who try to intimidate me like Donald Trump tries to intimidate everybody who speaks against him. That's not going to work. You tell us to shut up, we're going to speak louder.
All caps tweeting. You know he's like a week away from tweeting with emojis. You know what's coming, right? Just talked to the president of Mexico. Total eggplant. Real eggplant, that guy.
Not a flattering angle for him.
I was only going to mention Trump for like a
There
second.
are not really many flattering angles for just comedian the comedy show. I've actually started to watch his special on Amazon.
America and all that stuff.
Alright, that was definitely worth the watch.
Let's go look at his shop. He has
The
a
shop?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, what kind of goodies does he have in his shop?
I didn't know that he did so much with politics.
I don't either. we only know him from the TV show.
I know.
And
So, like,
that's cool.
I like him.
Yeah.
Like, as a person.
It's a poster. It's a cool poster.
He looks like someone from a comic book.
Alright, let's add it up here.
Okay, see, his shop is very simple.
You just got a couple things, and then you got the one.
Which is actually
That's
kind of
an
cool.
expensive hoodie, but okay.
What is on it? Okay. Oh my god.
Sometimes you gotta take their toys away.
It says Cheetos with an A. That's so funny.
Cheetos. Oh, you
God.
Oh my god, this. Can we buy this?
Yeah.
Like, we need to bookmark this and we have some money, we should buy this.
Ironically.
Yes, unironically, we need to, like...
Yeah, he's not the best, but his poster's actually really
Yeah,
cool.
with the poster, like,
I definitely enjoy this. This is great.
Yeah,
it says Union Made in the USA.
Yeah, we could even just cut off the Gleib 2020 part and just have the
Why?
rest of
I
it.
just want the poster. Like,
Because it's just a cool looking poster.
I mean, just have the whole thing. Like, it doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's his little shop.
That's dope. Anything else?
And then, is there anything else here?
Videos, issues, donating, campaign events, going to dominate. Like, we looked at all that. Okay. I mean,
Do you want to watch him on gun rights?
No, he talked about it enough.
We can look at his Wikipedia a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's move to his Wikipedia.
Blah, 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 blah.
Does he not have a campaign Wikipedia?
No.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Not that I saw
Let's
anyway.
just read about his life then. Oh, is this it?
That-
Yeah, it's very short.
This
Okay,
is his
cool.
life and career together, all as one. Gleib was a one-time roundtable guest on the late night talk show Chelsea Lately, and has been appearing on the show since January 2018. He's a frequent guest on,
2008.
whatever, it's okay. He is a frequent guest on KPCC, Southern California's NPR affiliate, on the Pat Morrison program, bringing his comedic spin to political issues. He also reported to KPCC Live from the 2008 Republican National Convention in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay.
He starred in the NBC series The Real Redding Shut up, I got it. The Real Wedding Crashers, a primetime comedy that aired on the network Mondays at 10 p.m. with the show Heroes as a lead-in. Well, the show also aired on Bravo, one of my favorite shows. He performed in 2009. He performed his stand-up on NBC's Last Call Carson Daly. In 2008, Gleib was featured on the NBC competition show Last Comic Standing. He is known for covering a wide range of topics in his acts and improvisational skills, often making up large sections of his performance based on interactions with the crowd, like we just saw in that other video. A recent review of his stand-up said his persona has evolved to a satirical high. His act is laden with material that pays every time.
Okay.
In 2006, he sold a pilot called The Gleib Show to Fox, produced by Saturday Night Live creator Lorne Michaels, Broadway Video, and NBC Universal. This show was based on a TV show that Gleib directed, wrote, and starred in for 3 seasons on the National Lampoon College Network from 2003 to 2005 that aired to college campuses across the country. It was consistently the network's #1 show. It was also written and produced by Scott Richardson. The show was based on a show of the same title that Gleib did for 4 years during his time as an undergrad at the University of California, San Diego. At UCSD, he studied communications and theater and graduated in the honors thesis program. Gleib appears in a supporting role in the feature film Bar Stars, which had a limited theatrical release. The film also featured Charlie Murphy, Daniel, whatever. Gleib is one of the stars of Kevin Smith's Jay and Silent Bob's Super Groovy cartoon movie.
Oh.
And is the voice of Marshall the Sloth in Ice Age, Continental Drift.
Ah! Ice Age Continental Drift!
And voices Dolly in The Book of Life starring Channing Tatum. His voices have also appeared in Phineas and Ferb and YouTube series The Melvin Brothers.
Who was he acting in Phineas and Ferb?
Hold on. Alright, so after a quick search, this doesn't exist on the internet. So if
He
anyone
might have just been a background character that didn't get any credit.
Yeah, so if anyone somehow finds what he did in Phineas and Ferb, it would be awesome if you wanted to just link it down, because I want to see that. I like that show.
In addition, Gleib has performed on The Late Late Show on CBS and on the Vancouver C Viral Pods for Current TV. And in 1902, he wrote the Radio Music Awards for ABC. Since no,
Hold on. What about 1902? I don't think he did anything in 1902.
Oh no!
who wrote that?
Okay, he performed the Late Late Show. And
Oh no! Okay, hold on. So after a quick search,
they meant 2000.
Yeah, we're
not
pretty sure they meant 2002. Because he was born in 1978.
So yeah, he was.
Ben Gleib's a time traveler. And since November of 2011, Gleib has hosted the podcast Last Week on Earth with Ben Gleib, distributed through Kevin Smith's Smodco Podcast Network. He has been guest.
He is a guest co-anchor for a week for ABC News Digital from ABC News World headquarters in New York, and did election night 2016 coverage for them.
Okay.
He's been a frequent on-air contributor on CNN, The Young Turks, and NPR, winning a Gold Mike Award for his work on Southern California NPR Pat Morrison's Comedy Congress. In 2017, oh my god, he was one of the hosts of social impact news show Aspirus on CNN's Headline News.
Beginning in August 2014, Gleib hosted 4 seasons of Idiot Task on Game Show Network. On May 13, 2019, Gleib announced his candidacy for president of the United States on Twitter. That is the end of his Wikipedia.
Yep. Okay.
Where's his,
So yeah, comedy dude running for president.
Yep.
where's his comedy site? Or
Here's
it's
his
just
site.
his site. No, it's just him.
Yeah.
Just not his non-specific. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his non-campaign site.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is
This has been Ben Gleib.
Democratic candidate for 2020.
Yeah, he's an interesting dude.
Very
Any last
interesting.
thoughts? Final.
Probably
Reverends?
best guy we've seen so far.
Yeah, we haven't gone over that many people.
No, but yeah, I mean,
So out of all of the candidates that we have looked at,
okay.
we've looked at who?
Okay, Marianne Williamson, Andrew Yang,
McAfee.
John McAfee.
We did Sanderson or Sanders?
Sanford. But
Mark
I think we
Sanford.
did
Mark
another
Sanford.
Dem too, didn't we?
We did
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. Yeah, Pete Buttigieg. Okay, so out of all of them,
Ben Gleib.
Ben Gleib. I kind of like Buttigieg too. Out of the ones that we've looked at,
I like Buttigieg. I like Ben Gleib.
Mark Sanford though, man.
Yeah.
The Republican man?
Yeah, financial conservative.
Oh, the one who was missing, and they had to go look for him because he was out cheating with his mistress. Him. Oh, that was spicy.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah, we'll link that.
And then there's McAfee.
Spicy. These hoes want us to vote. Yeah, he's like probably the least shady person because he's just up front. He's like, I'm just a dude. I do comedy. The other hoes are shady, and the Wikipedia is full of shady past. He ain't got shady. This is just him. He's just a comedian.
He's just out there doing his thing.
He's just a person like us, which I like that. Like, he's just a dude. These other people are all millionaires, and they don't know what it's like to be a person.
All right. Well,
thanks for
watching.
It's been real.
Catch us
next time.
So this is gonna be uploaded on Tuesday. So catch us on Thursday.
Next time. We love y'all.
Yeah.
Stay riled up.